I think I learned early on that I really didn't alone know so much. But together, collectively, being in the pursuit of knowing was a rich experience. I really believed that kids were capable of far more than what they were generally given credit as being capable of learning. And if we created an environment where they were safe, that we laughed, we endeavored, we went hard after some things, and we learned together, and we used contemporary events to elevate pursuit of that understanding. I think that's really what happened. We were in pursuit, always in pursuit. And I guess I knew at the time somehow that I had the capacity to move kids, inspire kids, get them engaged. But I wouldn't have called myself a great teacher. It wasn't that I felt like I knew it all or I knew everything they needed to know, but we together were in this hunt, this pursuit of deeper understanding. And kids got it, and we took off. So I guess if there was a seminal understanding, listen to and respect the learner.
Remember, but I got back the longest email I think I've ever been sent. And it was the opposite of mine. It started with one sentence. Brian, of course I remember who you are. And then off he went into a dissertation about the ups and downs of teaching, what he had enjoyed, some of the harder parts. No opinion given. He was not trying to sway me either direction at all, but he gave me the highest highs and he gave me the lowest lows. And reading this email was like spending 20 minutes with him again. And it just reminded me graphically of how much I really liked that guy and what a great teacher he was. He never swayed your opinion. He just gave you the full range. And when he walked away, you'd be thinking, well, you didn't tell me what you think. I think that's part of what made him so great.
And I thought our trip over to Pilgrim Place to interview, these people were so honored by our wanting to know their life and their history and their contribution. So I love those assignments. I mean, it was so much fun. And frankly, if you don't know it, it wasn't that I designed it, you designed it. They came out of your current events. They came out of interest and inspiration.
And we also wrote a play called The Mystery of the Mary Celeste, or The Secret of the Mary Celeste. But we helped write the play and we starred in it, and it was a fantastic experience. And I remember Terry's choices of who got the starring roles, and he didn't pick sort of the most outlandish students. He would pick someone who maybe kind of shied around the background, give them the starring role, and it was just so great, the balance of talents that came out in that.
And the whole class participated.
The whole class did,
Yeah.
every single person.
Uh-huh.
It was fun.
Do you have any?
He just really helped me, come out of my shell and being from such a shy, quiet person to, someone who had a role in the play at the end of the year.
He challenged them, and he didn't just give them answers, he challenged them to find the way to develop the answer on their own. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those memories are connected with the journey. Mm-hmm. And if I sit back and think about specific lessons, I can't think of a single thing that Terry got up and stood and taught. But I can think of infinite times that my experience in Terry's class and here in room 1 were the foundation for me to do things that I'd never done before, that I might never have attempted if I hadn't had those successes and even failures that I experienced here.
Terry had a way of, not just Terry, all of our teachers here had a way of letting us be ourselves, and in so doing helped us become ourselves in a way that I never experienced later in school. This is not my story. This is an old folk song that I and a friend, Joaquin Spengeman, I don't know if you've spoken with him today.
Not yet.
No, okay, well, he's here. When he and I were in 5th grade in this classroom, we were burgeoning rock stars, and Terry gave us the opportunity to perform in front of the class. This was near the end of the year. I played electric guitar, and Joaquin was a drummer, still is a drummer. And we practiced a couple of songs for a number of weeks, and at the end of the school year, we got up on the stage in the auditorium of this school, turned on the red and yellow lights, cranked up the amplifier, and set up the drums, and we performed a couple of songs. I'd like to just play one of them.
That'd be great. Hi, and
Hi.
I hear you're part of a band, or you
Uh,
were.
Yes, actually, John Edmonds and I had a band called Jam 2 with the Roman numeral 2 because we were a duo, and all we did was jam. And so I haven't really had very much luck with band names ever since either. But that was a really fun band. I just kept doing it ever since. John basically mastered his instrument and has branched off into other more technical things. I kind of still play the same kind of music that he got me into at the time. And it's been, if you call it what you will, if it's a rut, it's been the most fun thing I could have ever picked to do. So
Did you
enjoy it.
perform at school?
Yes, we did. We actually got we had to go to city council and petition to play at Memorial Park, and we performed there. And each of us has a cassette tape of that performance. So mine's a little warbly, but it's there, and you can hear the parents talking during the whole thing. So.
Remember how many teachers, all they did was they went by a book. Here's a book. We all had them, even here. Here's a book. Read it. Here's your assignment. The teacher often didn't do really a lot of thinking. Even here, some teachers. But, but Terry, I don't need the books. We're going to create our own curriculum, if you will. And it was vastly superior to any other curriculum.
They were talking about aha moments and how these changes to the curriculum that they're implementing, particularly in our district, dampen that aha moment ability. And I thought back to Sycamore, and I think that in our class and some of my other classes, that was the key. And I think John Bobo's support of that, to be able to have those aha moments and take that current event and go for 2 or 3 hours with it, because you could learn history, you could learn new vocabulary, you could go off and everybody do some research on some element of this, and you didn't necessarily have to have that boring textbook in front of you.
You didn't want it.
You didn't want it, but you knew that you were backed up. I had a sense that we were backed up and that there was a purpose, and it wasn't just, I think in some classrooms they were just aha all the time, and maybe not being as assessed as much as we were, but I know that you were always bringing it back toward, okay, what do these kids need to know in order to get to the next level? Are we covering everything? Is there a weakness? Okay, maybe we'd better spend a little more time focusing on math right now because we've been doing a lot of social studies, but that has been lost from our current curriculum.
It really hit me in 9th grade. The very first time I realized how special our education at Sycamore was when we were given in a history class, world history class, an assignment to write a position paper. And I remember he said, just, pick a position and support it with your, your supporting facts and your 5-paragraph essay and however we were supposed to do it. And all the other kids from all the other schools, which I shouldn't name, but wanted to know what the correct answer was. What is the answer? And he said, I don't care what you pick. I don't care what your position is. Pick a position and support it. And all the Sycamore kids said, oh, we know how to do that. I mean, he wasn't looking for a right answer. He was looking for a process. And the kids from Sycamore really knew how to handle that. We knew how to, if it was black, white, green, purple, we could pick a position and support it with our research and our data. And other kids always wanted to know, they wanted to be in the box. What is the right answer? And he basically said, there is no right answer. Life doesn't have a right answer. It's how you approach it. So for me, that was kind of my first realization of, wow, we were educated differently. We know how to come at a problem creatively and from a different angle, and talk to different people, look at different solutions.
There was a nurturing, caring bubble that existed over this place. That when you left, I guess a door opening and closing would be a good metaphor, because we went to a completely different world and a different set of expectations. And in some ways it seemed incongruous that what we were taking from here didn't directly apply to what we had to do in the next chapter. And so it wasn't until later that I think that those realizations that it was the understanding and the experience that we were using. It wasn't the answer that we had when we went forward, but it was the ability to understand how to get through those uncertainties. Yeah.